From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. BP. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Friday night, a special Friday night edition of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains world. Hey, guys, I think I need to establish a new tagline for this as well. Let's see. I don't know if this sounds good or not. Let's see. How about adding to that, saying that it's the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood, and also say it's a moderately successful podcast covering a bunch of charitable dudes trying to make the world a better place. What do you think about that? I came up with that one because I came across some information I'll talk to you guys in just a few minutes about. Kind of cool. I did a little bit of research about some podcast details and demographics and whatnot. And it kind of surprised myself with what I was reading. So we'll get into that in just a second. But hey, this is episode 192. 192 of these episodes. Wow. We're kicking it. We're flying. We're sailing straight into one for, we got 8 left. 200. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I have no idea what we're going to do. If we're going to do anything special like we did for episode 100, who knows? I'm open to suggestions. You guys have any suggestions, hit me up. Send me messages. Probably don't make any legitimate comments or legitimate requests or suggestions in the comment section here, because they'll just get lost and I'll forget about them. But if you got some fun ideas, shoot me a message anyway. This is episode 192, and we are on a Friday night. And the strange part about that, obviously, is that we're normally on Thursday nights now. But this is something that everybody, thank you guys for all you who are here live with us right now. But this is something we're going to have to do for the next several weeks on Friday nights. I can't even imagine. No, I can't see an occasional for the next several weeks now, probably 3 or 4 at least. We're going to be on Friday nights. Then we're going to pivot back and we're going to do either Thursday back to our normal time, or maybe even an occasional Wednesday. And I hate to keep bouncing everybody around like that, but there's a reason. It's because, once again, I have been tabbed to assist with the local theater production that's going on, and I'm running sound for that. So I've got this huge soundboard, and I'm running all the music parts for it. I'm running all the sound cues and all the miking for all the actors and actresses, and it's really fun for me. But rehearsals are every night, Monday through Friday now, or Monday through Thursday. So Friday night's off. But then once opening night hits, it's Friday, Saturday shows. So Thursdays is back open again. So just bear with me. I'll try and keep everybody apprised of what's going on, when our time frame is and everything like that. But suffice to say, at least for the next, I believe it is 3 weeks for sure, we're going to be here on Friday nights. So make adjustments in your schedule, like everybody's schedules around this thing. But make adjustments if you want to stay in touch with the show and everything like that. Yeah, Rob. Yes, Rob. I can always count on you for the oddball comment. Rob says, so in short, the podcast will be happening on a night in the week. Yes. Yes. In the latter half of the week, really, is the short and easy way to say it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a fun one because we're going to be talking to brother from Pennsylvania East, Kevin, he's the charity officer, talking about an upcoming event this weekend. They have going on, and it's just it's another one of those charities, man. It's another one of those really cool charities. Anyway, the Battleborne Killer Beard Competition 2 is going on, and it's going to be a really good time. So we're going to talk to him for a few minutes coming up about that. But first, let's kick into saying hi to everybody who is here with us live, hanging out with us. Of course, earlier we said hey to Rob with his comment about when the show will be on. He says, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing? Good to see you here. Jacked Up Leatherworks is hanging out with us again tonight. Good to see you, Mr. Clancy. How you doing? Good to hang out with you again. Good to see you here. Buddy is also here. If you're not here in the comment section, I don't know you're here, but I can see that there's more people live watching us right now that are actually in the comment section making comments. So that's a good thing. I appreciate you guys for. Hey, you could do so many other things on a Friday night, right? Elevated Gray. Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing? JD says, let's go. Yeah, he was ready. Every time I hear let's go now, I think of Tom Brady, so stop saying it that way. David, how you doing? He says, go Kevin. Yeah, he's ready to see it. He's ready to see what Kevin's got in store for us here. We'll get to him in just a few minutes, but I wanted to say a couple of shout-outs merch-wise, and then I want to get into a couple of other things a few other tidbits of information that I've come across regarding podcasts and why I'm kind of excited, really, that I just thought of. Well, I won't get into this in just a few minutes, but let's real quick. Let's just roll through a few merch items. And sadly for all you, but not sadly for me, most of the merch items that I have on hand right now are from my chapter, oddly enough. But that wasn't intentional. It's just I haven't been hit up with too many merch items from anybody else right now. So if there is anything going on, please let me know. I will start out by saying this before I forget. There is a shirt, and I'm terrible because I did not get a chance to get it on here. I just realized that I had seen it a couple of days ago, and I didn't get a chance to load it up on here. But if you go hit up, I believe it's the Smoky Mountain Boys. They're doing a shirt to benefit one of the brothers in their chapter. So they have a shirt going on right now, and I want to say it's in Tennessee orange, if I'm not mistaken. Could be completely wrong on all this, but if you want to help out a brother, go over and grab one of those shirts. It's a really cool shirt anyway. It's another one of their chapter shirts, but it's badass. So go grab one of those if you can. Next up, I just want to give a shout out now because we're trying to get all of these patches gone for our Okanagan brothers. And I haven't double checked with Maddie this week to verify if they still have any left or not, but okbv.bigcartel, the last little bit of these things. And the last several that they've been pushing real hard to get rid of these patches on, all those proceeds were going back to help the people affected with the wildfires over there in Canada. So if they still got some of those left, but check them out. Go ahead and okbv.bigcartels. We're going to go grab those if you can. Also, my chapter here, Northern Indiana, just a couple weeks ago, we released the Return of Ezra Crow. Or I'm sorry, the Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt. I'm thinking about the event instead. The Ezra Crow, the annual. This is an annual T-shirt that is done by our chapter. The annual Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt. And the cool part about this shirt is the design behind it is it kind of pays homage to a classic album cover of usually the 80s in this case, but also on the back of the shirt, instead of the concert tour locations on a concert T-shirt, it has the cities of all the different the cities around the world that our brothers from our chapter have gone to represent us and Ezra. So very cool stuff. bvnorthernindiana.org is where you're going to go grab those. We actually came back and we re-released last year's shirt as well. That's on the site for a short time as well. So if you want to grab one of those, I believe they're $27 if you're interested in such a thing. Also, I want to give a shout out to our Cut Snake villains down in Australia. Came across this bad boy. Very unique patch for the patches that we normally see. And I can't remember if they're doing a pre-order or not, but I think they're available so that you can actually get them now on their page. And they have a Linktree link, so I can't really include that here. But if you just go to the Cut Snake Villains IG page, they have a direct link on there for it. So very unique that you don't see too many squared off patches. But this thing really sticks out. So it's a very cool patch. Help the brothers out down there. Cut Snake Villains in Australia, having that bad boy up there. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. I'm going to have to get rid of this logo first. Boom, there we go. Also, my chapter has their cancer awareness t-shirt. We're doing a cancer walk in a few weeks. So the price on this shirt is actually lower right now, just to get word out and try and get a little bit of extra sales on this shirt. This is going to be our annual shirt, so it's not going to change year to year. So if you want one that's just going to last you, that's the way to go. But it's got the front of it with our Northern Indiana Villains logo, and on the back side, it's got the new X Factor, our newer X Factor. Big and bold, very cool. Also, this is the old Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt. If you're interested in going grab that at bvnorthernIndiana.org. And let me see if I have something else. That's right there. Look at that. There it is. My buttons. I have too many buttons, people. Too many buttons. All right, so that's the merch stuff that I've got right now. I wanted to take a few seconds here and just thank you. Thank you, all of you guys who have been viewers, watchers, listeners of this program for the last 4 years. 4 years, people. Sometimes anniversary dates just pass you by and you forget about them. I did not forget about my wedding anniversary, which was this past just yesterday. But other anniversaries, you just forget about them. And one thing I forgot about was recognizing that this podcast last month, we hit 4 years. We hit 4 years, people. And it really got me thinking about a couple of things. And we'll get to our interview in just a couple minutes, but I just want you to stick with me for a minute. It made me realize a couple of things. And I've read statistics before about, podcasts, how long podcasts last and different things. So I knew that this show was kind of, in a different tier from the average podcast per se. And I don't mean in viewership. I don't mean listenership, because if you look at the numbers about how many people watch the live stream in all, or even watch the playback of it, or that actually listen to the podcast on a regular download thing, we are nowhere near the top of the top of the top. But when I started looking at some of the statistics that come out about podcasts, and especially about podcasts that do live streams and stuff, I did realize that we, and I say we because this is not just me. Yes, I'm the one that's right here. I'm the one that stares into the little black lens right there. I'm the one that talks into the microphone. But this show is, I've always said, this is just as much your show as it is mine, because it's about the brotherhood. And it's about the stories. It's about your stories that I'm fortunate enough to get to tell, and I'm fortunate enough to get to learn about and tell everybody else about. So thank you for that, everybody that has been a part of this program for the last 4 years. And it was August 16th that we had 4 years. So episode 1 aired August 16th of 2019. So cool. So cool. So I got around to looking at things, and I realized that I already knew, statistically speaking, a few things. I already knew that that in this show, I've already spoken with over 200 brothers from around the world over the time. Now, there's been a bunch of, duplicates, triplicates, where I've spoken with, the same brother or the same captain or something like that a few times from representative chapters. But there's been other episodes where I spoke with 3 or 4 people, where I did multiple interviews in a show or spoke with multiple people about different things. And we're somewhere up in the area of 20-ish countries that we've covered chapter-wise. So I've been so fortunate, and I thank you guys all the time for this, because this is not about getting famous in any way, shape, or form. This is, if you saw the download numbers, you would understand why I say that. But it's about putting out the information and sharing the information about this brotherhood and about the lives who have been changed from this brotherhood to the people that want to know about it. And that's what it's about. The people that are the most active, the ones that really want to hear, the people that are family members, relatives, or just curious about what Bearded Villains are all about. They know that they can come here and learn about what's going on. So I started looking into things, and I realized that the average, this goes back a little ways, the average, and these statistics that I've found, they range anywhere from beginning with 2019, 2020 timeframe, but also some of these statistics come all the way up into 2023. So statistics are statistics, you know what they say about that. But the average, when we started this show back in 2019, the average podcast generated 141 downloads in its first month. The average podcast had 141 downloads in its first month. Now, if it's a weekly program, they're taking into account that there would be 4 shows. But in all, 141 downloads in their first month. I did some checking. I didn't realize this long ago, but our show here in the first month that we were around, and we weren't weekly originally. Remember, the first 2 episodes, I think, were 2 weeks apart. So in the first month, we only had 2 episodes. We had over 500 downloads. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that until I really got looking in the numbers this week. We had over 500 downloads in the first month. So above average from the jump. Thank you. There are now over 5 million podcasts in the world. 5 million. Now, they determined that several of them are not active. Several of them drop off. There's a statistic out there that says that 90% of all podcasts that are created don't get past episode 3. When that makes sense, you realize 5 million. Okay, that explains why there's still so many podcasts out there. But it's not easy to continue to do this stuff sometimes. And 90% of all podcasts don't get past episode 3. And of those several 100,000 that do get past episode 3, 90% of those actually quit after 20 episodes. Pretty crazy. We're at 192. I won't give up, right? I've said that from the beginning. I don't care if anybody's listening. I don't care if there's nobody watching. I don't care if there's nobody downloading. I'm still doing this show because I'm learning about the brothers that are out there. I'm learning about the chapters. I'm learning about the charities. It's fun for me. And, that's what it's about. But so what they say is that to be in the top 1% of actual statistics as far as a show goes of published podcasts, you only need to have 21 episodes, which I don't know if I believe that 100%. But it does kind of bring home the idea that maybe this year's show is not doing so bad as I thought it was, number-wise. Regarding listenership, it's funny because to be in the top, by statistics for today, to be in the top 1% of all podcasts, and we're talking about listenership now. We're talking about listenership. They say that the average approximate download for the top 1% is 4,000 downloads in the first 7 days of an episode. So within a week of each episode, 4,000 downloads to be in the top 1%. To be in the top 5%, only 795. To be in the top 10%, only 335. To be in the top 25%, only 93. So what's this mean for me and for us? What it means is we are actually, this year's show, The Heart of a Villain, is actually in the top 25% and very close to the top 10% of all podcasts that are out there as far as downloads go. The math is kind of hazy because some shows, there's a lot of downloads, and some shows there's literally a handful. And it just depends week to week who listens to what. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to realize. We finally just hit over 28,000 downloads for the show. So I'm super happy. We're not stopping anywhere anytime soon. We're at episode 192 this week. trucking along to 200, and then we're just going to set the sails for the future and see how far we go. But I just wanted to tell you guys and thank you guys so much for all that. And man, it's good. So cheers to all of you guys. Literally cheers. Today, not sponsored by Terramana Tequila. There it is right there. It's in the picture right there. Yeah. Trying out Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, trying out his tequila for the first time. It's very good. I like it. Very sippy. Okay. So what next, guys? Got to give I want to go back into the comments here because I think there were a couple of people that had some fun comments here. Everybody's saying thank you guys for the congratulations. And let's see. Rob says 4 years. You see, we can always count on him, right? 4 years, 192, one half podcast, countless money raised for charity. And as a result of the show, congratulations, everyone. Yes, thank you so much. And then he follows that up with 192, and you've never had me on it. That's changing, though, this fall, and you know that. That's changing this fall. You'll be one of the few people that will be here live in the studio. I can't wait for that to happen. We're going to have here in the studio Mr. Rababa. Mr. Rababa will be here in the studio hanging out with us. So very much looking forward to that. And Bulldog from London as well. Gonna be fun. We're gonna have the English accents going heavy. Maybe I'll have to try and develop my own bad one during the time. I'll be the one that sounds like I do now. Put it that way. If you haven't ever heard Rob or Bulldog talking. So very fun times ahead. 192 and going forward. It's funny that I've been so lucky to talk about some really cool charities that are out there doing some really amazing things that our brothers have connected with. And we've talked before about how fun it can be to learn about these smaller, more regional charities. And this week is no exception. They Pennsylvania East Boys had a charity that they found and started working with last year for an event that, and I laugh because I say this to him in the interview when I'm talking to him, where I talked about, for some reason, the name of this the name of this event, the Battleborne Killer Beard Competition, it just kind of rolls off the tongue. And I told him that, I said, when I first heard this thing, when I started advertising it last year, I was like, I wonder if that's going to come back again because it's just so fun to say. Sure enough, partnered back up with them again. So we're gonna talk now with Kevin, and interview I had with him yesterday about this. It's going on this weekend, and if you guys have any ability to get to the east side of Pennsylvania, hit them up because this is a really cool charity and a really cool event that they have squared away with. So let's just go in and let's talk to Kevin from BVPA East. What do you say? My guest this week comes all the way from Pennsylvania. Well, I say all the way, but if you're in Pennsylvania or if you're on the East Coast, it's not really all the way. But here in Northern Indiana, it's all the way from PA East. They've got a really cool event coming up this weekend. And here to tell us a little bit about this thing is Kevin, the charity officer from BVPA East. He's going to be talking about the Battleborne Killer Beard Competition 2. Kevin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Oh, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that this thing came back because, I hate to say killer, what a killer name. When I first saw this thing come around last year as an event, I said, this thing looks really cool. And I know I talked to somebody about it last year. I can't remember who it was. But it was, I was really happy to see this thing come back. So I'm really happy to hear you telling us a little bit about it today.
We are excited for it to come back. Last year was the first year for our Killer Beard event. It went over spectacularly. We had a great time, great turnout and support from our brothers in the community, and it was a really successful fundraiser for our charity, Battleborne, which, if you aren't familiar with them, it's an organization that connects veterans to the services that they need in the community to help them adjust to civilian life or anything that they need. They do amazing work, life-saving work. That's not an overstatement. I've talked to the director, Chris, and his team, and it's some really amazing, touching stories of the veterans that they help. So we are super proud to host Killer Beard 2. It's going to be even better this year. We have more support lined up. We have a new venue. It's happening at Seven Sirens Brewery in historic Bethlehem, PA. All of the information for the address such is on our BVPA East Instagram account. If you want to look it up and come and visit us, and we want everybody to come out, have a great time, and support this wonderful charity.
Yeah. That was my favorite thing. I mean, obviously anytime we get to deal with charities that deal with veterans and kids, those are the two obviously that we really reach for. But I was excited to see the pairing and that you kept this thing up with Battleborne, because hearing about what they did last year, for the first time when I was introduced to what the organization does, really cool stuff. And I think for me, I'm not a veteran myself, but obviously we're brothers with so many that are. And
Yeah.
in your personal life, we come across so many that I think it's really important, especially now, when we're not in an active time of, we still have our military personnel all over the place, but there's not an active, like there was several years ago, an active front per se, that they've tried to
Yeah.
remove people from. But I think sometimes we forget when we aren't, center focused on the news that says, military personnel here are fighting this, fighting that. We kind of forget that there are these people out there doing these amazing things for us to protect the country, and they come home and they need help. And it's very easy to just out of sight, out of mind that and forget about it. So really cool that you guys are continuing that relationship with Battleborne.
Yeah. What's particularly special about it is when you speak to the people at Battleborne, particularly Chris, you can just feel how passionate he is about the work he does. And it's infectious. It makes you want to give back to them and help as much as you can, because there are still so many veterans in crisis dealing with emotional issues, everyday things that we take for granted. They struggle with sometimes. And it's our connection with Battleborne is so special because we know that they know exactly what the veterans need to help them live a safe, healthy, and productive life. So you can just give endlessly to them and know that any resource that they get will be put to the absolute best use. So it's kind of it's a blessing of sorts because you have no doubt that the support you're giving them is worth it. And all you can give is it's going to be so well used. And often I find that people, when it comes to charity work, a lot of people want to give, but they don't know how or in what way to manifest their desire to do good things. And this makes it easy. It really does. If you've ever thought about helping a veteran or wanting to do more, you can put your faith and trust in Battleborne and know that they're going to take what you give them and put it to the best possible resource and put it to the people who need it the most.
Yeah, I especially because this isn't it's a recognized organization that you guys know about, but in other parts of the world, other parts of the country, they may have never heard of Battleborne, but you hear
Right.
about these larger organizations all the time that have all the publicity behind them, and the question is then, if you really get, dig down deep into what it is, if I can talk, you wonder what it is that these other organizations do and how much of that money is going directly versus how much of that money on these really large organizations, how much of it's going toward, office costs or salaries or different things like that. And people nowadays, people have a real concern about that. They don't want to be funding somebody's 401k. They want to be sending the money where it needs to be to get the services needed. And I love the fact that some of these smaller organizations around the country are getting the publicity, and our guys are stepping up to work with them. And you can really see, because they make a point to tell you what they're doing with that money.
Right. And I know that, speaking on behalf of the chapter and our leadership, it's been important to all of us whenever we plan charity events to keep it at the local level as much as possible. And that would be, the local Battleborne or other grassroots military charities that are in our communities that, they're close to us. They serve our neighbors. And that's where we feel we can do the most good. Keeping it within our communities and, helping the people that we work with, that we live by. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm so good to hear. I'm so glad to hear. For those who aren't really familiar or may not have heard, how when I mentioned Battleborne for the first time last year during the interview, can you just give us a quick rundown? I know you've just touched on a little bit how they, but in the ways that they, and I know you're not a Battleborne rep, but from your connection with them, can you just kind of run down on some of the ways that they do benefit?
Yeah. He has seminars, he has meetings. Chris and his team go to specific events. They have their table there. They make themselves available for veterans to reach out to them. And my understanding is everything's individualized. It's a veteran by veteran assistance. And that is, every veteran has different needs. And Chris works with that veteran to get them the specific help and assistance that they need. Every time I was just talking with him a month ago about this event coming up we're planning, and he tells me the story of how they were set up somewhere just, to be seen, to sell their merch and to let the world know that they exist and need help. And he tells me how a veteran comes up, starts talking to him. The veteran was in a bad place mentally, and just that, spontaneous interaction, he was able to get this veteran the help that he needs. That, it was completely unprompted, but just his presence had enabled this veteran to open up to him, share what he was going through. And then Chris was able to help him get I believe in this case, life-saving attention that he needed.
Wow. Yeah. And that's, I think that's the most important part about, what they do is that if you don't know, you don't know. And if you're a veteran in need, you hear about these other, the other organizations and, veteran, I mean, one of the problems in talking with some of the veterans that I have spoken with, that I've heard from stories, they have a hard time reaching out sometimes. They have a sense of pride. And even though they know they should, and people tell them they should, that pride sometimes gets in the way. And so they don't, just doing a cold call reach out, to an organization or something like that. Where do I go if I need help? Guys, that's how guys look at it. I don't want to do that, but to have a local organization that is sitting right there and is putting themselves out there, if I'm here, if you need it, and just happens to be there at the right time, that's so important, because it breaks down that barrier right away.
Right. And that's what needs to happen. It's a question of people need to see the presence of that help. It's not enough for us to, post on our IG accounts, to speak out, say something, because everybody reads that, and I've known guys who have posted that on their account, and it's worthy that we post those things, but you have to put action behind that. There, guys will post that, and then they're still silently struggling, and you try to figure out where's the disconnect that somebody can post a "speak out if you're struggling" meme, but then not speak out when they are actually suffering. And I think it's a question of we just got to keep repeating this message until it sinks in. And we need to put ourselves out there so that people can reach out to us when they're ready, so we can help them.
Yeah. It's so true. If you know you need help, or you've in your mind, you're saying, yeah, I would love to talk to somebody, but I don't want to. Making that first step is so much more difficult than it sounds. And to be able to, like you said, if they're just set up somewhere and that you just happen to walk across it, what's this? Oh, hey, that's it right there. We just opened the door, and I made it so much easier for you to approach me. And that's
Right.
those little steps like that, especially these grassroots levels. It's paramount to be able to do that.
And one thing that's awesome about Battleborn is Chris and his team are so approachable. Chris is the most energetic person I have ever met. He's like bouncing off the walls 24/7 in the most wonderful way. And anybody that meets him is, you would instantly know this is a man I can talk to. This is a man who's going to be there to help me. And I think that's one of the things that makes Battleborn so special is you have that type of enthusiasm and compassion at the highest level in the group.
Yeah, such a great thing. Such a great thing. I'm excited that you guys are back with them, and I just, it's one of those, you don't I'm you want to hear about the stories, you want to hear about the successes and the ways that they've helped, but at the same time, that's not for us. That's not for us to know about. It's not for, those are those victories that Battleborn gets. They're not publicized, and that's a good thing. They don't need to be. We just know that
Right.
they're there, and it's not like another charity that we can say we did all these things, that we did this, and this. This is much more personal, what Battleborn does, and these aren't victories that need to be promoted, but we just know that they're there, and it's very
Exactly.
cool.
Just knowing that they're there and they're happening, and it is truly impacting, everyone's lives. And this Saturday, we're hoping to make it as fun as possible and have as much brotherhood as possible. And it's a day to just have fun, but also in the back of everyone's mind, you can have more fun just knowing that this is all for a really good cause. It's at the event, we are going to have the beard competition. We are going to have a cornhole competition, 50-50 raffle. Some surprises are going to happen that I can't talk about, but it'll happen while we're there. And we have heard from many of our surrounding BV chapters, people who are coming in. I know we have a large presence from the Saints in New England are coming in. So it's going to be a day of great brotherhood. And I encourage anyone who can make it to come out. It's, for me and my BV journey, one of the best experiences is sharing brotherhood with like-minded people. And our chapter has worked hard this year to create that environment, for everyone that shows up, and to represent BV and BVPA East to our local community the best we can.
Awesome. Okay, so we're talking about the Battleborn Killer Beard Competition 2. It's at 7 Sirens Brewery. I brought it up here on the screen for y'all. Which is, the address is 327 Broadway in Bethlehem, PA. If you have any questions about that location or anything else, obviously reach out to the PA East guys. Registration begins at 2. Now, tell us a little bit, or just remind us a little bit about this competition here. What's you touched on it a little bit, but give us a lowdown of how you run things. If you have any like specifics on categories, or if you do anything fun there with it, being that it's the Killer Beard Comp, what's unique?
Well, what's unique is last year, this was closer to Halloween, hence the name, the Killer Beard. This year, because of ECM, we had to move it a month ahead of time. But we're still sticking with the name because Killer Beard can be any time throughout the year, as in, hey, man, that's a killer beard. The categories are, we have the various lengths that you always have in the competitions. We have Whiskerina, and we have Best in Show. Registration starts at 2. We encourage you to register as soon as you get there. We do not have an exact start time for the competition because there is live music there this Saturday, and we will be working in conjunction with the music people to host or to stage the contest between their sets.
Yeah.
So we're going to spread it out, sort of pace it throughout the day. And we have a great MC planned and some beautiful trophies. I won't say too much about them, but I haven't seen anything like them before, but they're impressive. So that's the beard contest. The cornhole tournament, we will start registering at 2 as well for that. There are trophies to the best placed team.
Okay.
And of course, we'll have a T-shirt for the day that will be for sale, as well as our BVPA East merchandise. And also a separate table of merch for our other main charity of BVPA East, Project Sensory, which is an ongoing, continuing charity where we raise funds to provide schools with a sensory classroom where autistic students can go to learn coping skills. If they need a timeout for the day, there will be specialized equipment in those rooms for self-soothing, learning adaptations to help the students function in traditional classrooms. So, people will be able to learn about, that's another charity that the chapter's passionate about. And again, it also serves the local communities, different school districts. We unveiled our first classroom this spring. And soon as this event's over, we're going to be jumping fast and eagerly into the second classroom. So a lot going on. And I should mention, we are going to have some vendors here who are sponsoring us as well. So quite a variety of things. The brewery has obviously fantastic beers to choose from. The owner, Jordan, has been awesome as far as providing us with what we need, helping us figure out the logistics. We could not ask for a better venue than this year. Jordan is top notch and will be donating a portion of the beer sales for the day to the charity. Wow. So not only is Seven Sirens Brewery, not only have they donated the venue, but they're going to go the extra step and donate more money based on, the beer sales for the day. So, much thanks to Seven Sirens. That we could not have asked for a better partner in this event.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That's great. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a quick rundown if anybody that's going to be watching this show as they're driving to the event or anything like that. For the event, is there an entrance fee, or does that include competition fee? And is there additional fees for like cornhole and stuff?
There is a $20 registration fee per category, unless There is a special category which I omitted earlier, and it is a veterans beard category.
Oh, perfect.
There will be, if you are a non-BV person and a veteran, you can enter this category for free. There is no registration fee. Otherwise, it's $20 to enter. The cornhole tournament will be $20 per team.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, yeah, so that would cover two people, a team. And trophies there, trophies in the competition. Trying to think if there's anything I've forgotten as far as, I think that's it. We're
That's
going
a
to have
lot,
three
though.
judges. Yeah,
You
yeah,
got a lot
it's a
going on.
lot. We do. And like I said, we're expecting, aside from the BV crowd, there will be other beard organizations present coming out to support us, which is great. Because it's all about the community, be it BV community or the neighboring communities.
Yep.
I have a good vibe about it, and it's not just because I'm sitting here promoting it. We've heard a lot of positive feedback from people, and I think the brotherhood is going to be off the charts.
Yeah. I mean, what more can you ask for the weekend that you guys got packed in there? So that's just
and
awesome.
Perfect weather. It's supposed to be like 74 and sunny.
Oh, well, heck. I mean, what more can you ask for, guys? If you want to go to an awesome event this weekend, I mean, he's just laid it right out for you. For me, unfortunately, it's a little too far for me to get to this weekend just because I was gone last weekend and I've already been demanded that I'm going to be home for a few weeks. So I was scolded when what happened was actually I got in a little bit of trouble because the wife didn't even know that I was going to be going down to Southern Indiana last weekend until about a week before. I had it on my calendar, but not the family calendar that she has access to. So it was one of those moments. So unfortunately, but this event, I mean, ever since you guys put it out last year, I was like, that's got to be on my calendar. So it's one of those that I want to come to one day. Unfortunately, just do me a favor. Don't move it too close to our event, which is October 21st. If you move it again, because the closer it gets to that, the more unlikely it is I'm going to be able to make it. So this is a perfect little window right here. I can go ahead and prep the wife a year out and say, hey, if they're going to do it again, maybe I can try and sneak over to it. But
well, I'll be sure to let Captain know that that he doesn't schedule it at a bad time. But we do hope to keep doing it going forward.
Schedule it around what works for me, by all means. That's what I would prefer, for sure. And then something, of course, would happen, and I'm unable to go. So don't ever do that. No, don't just. I'll try and fit into your guys' schedule for sure. But man, this is so cool. You guys have been killing it, and the sensory classroom thing, I think, has been a really neat thing that you guys have been a part of. I know I talked to one of your chapter reps about it last year when it was just kind of a kernel in your head about this is something we're working toward, and to see it this past spring, to see it come to fruition and see what all was involved in that, I think just I mean, amazing idea, great way to get your name out there, but also to make such an impact in an area that a lot of people wouldn't think about. We can give a little bit of money to this or something like that. But when you're earmarking your plans specifically for a classroom, you can actually see where this is going and see how it's benefiting the lives of the people that it's helping.
Absolutely. Yeah. We work with the school district, specifically the special education director and teachers, and every classroom or space, if they can't spare a whole classroom, is customized for the needs of that particular school. And that makes it, even more beneficial. And, this idea came from a chapter brother of ours. It's, within a chapter, it's great whenever brothers suggest ways that we can do charity work, And this idea sprung from the mind of one of our members, and he really put some effort into making it happen. And we got behind him on that, and it's very promising, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Awesome, man. Hey, PA East, keep your eyes out on them. They're doing some stuff over there, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch when our chapters are out there doing stuff in our communities. So I hope it's I hope it's something that really can inspire some of our less active chapters out there to see that there are guys looking for unique ways to do some things. It doesn't always have to be the same thing that everybody's doing. You can just look into your community a little deeper, and might take a little bit of work, but you'll find these unique ways that you can do something in your community that really touches somebody, makes a difference. So,
Yeah, if I
thanks for
could
being such a
touch
great
on
example
that.
of that. Yeah.
One thing, like I said, other chapters, ask your members what in their community needs help. I know this year we are supporting another veterans charity that's a little outside of, I would say, the southern area of our territory. It's a food pantry, and it's not the hugest event. We'll schedule a day, we go and help them pack food bags. We helped a local volunteer fire department this year. Not every event needs to be huge to make a good impact.
Mm-hmm.
And the community becomes aware of what BV is and what it stands for. And that just makes the organization look better. And it also lets the communities know, hey, BV does a lot of good work in our communities. And, maybe they'll start reaching out more to us to see if we'd be able to help. So it's kind of like networking, but on a charity level scale,
Mm-hmm.
where just, letting the world know what you are will bring people to your door so that, you can do more good in it.
Yeah. It's getting your name out there. It makes a big difference. And you have to do those baby steps to do that. And those little tiny, the smaller things really help up and add up. So, great job. Great job. I'm excited to see pictures, and I want to see these trophies. I'm excited to see trophies. I'm excited to see pictures from this event, and just hear about all the awesome stuff that you guys are able to do through it. So keep up the awesome work, man.
Hey, thank you so much. It was an honor to speak with you today. I appreciate the work you do, and spreading the good BV news. And from everybody here at BVPA East, thank you for putting the word out for this event and supporting us. It is greatly appreciated.
Oh, dude, it's my pleasure, man. This is what it's about for me, is to be able to, it's not, this is a learning process for me too. I love hearing about what our, if nothing else, I get to talk to brothers all over the world about the charity things that they're doing. And, I don't care. It's, some of these episodes, 5 people pay attention to, some of them 100 people pay attention to. But the greatest thing for me is that I get to see it. I get to reach out. I get to talk to the guys and hear about all the cool things they're doing. So this is just awesome for me. So I'm really proud of you guys to see what you're doing, and
Thank you.
keep doing it, and just keep up the great work. Go kill it this weekend.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.
All right. Hey guys, Kevin, man, such a good interview. I really appreciated Kevin taking some time to talk to me about that stuff. And it's we had a comment in the comment section, and earlier in the segment of the when he was talking there earlier, and I just have to bring this up because bring it up on screen. I'm sure Buddy will really appreciate this. But he said, "Love this. You can hear the passion in his voice." Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what so much of this is about. What we do. Excuse me. You can find these things out there to be passionate about, and to hear, our brothers. It's not just, hey, we're going to do this thing and we might raise a little bit of money for this thing. And when you hear that there's, you know, a connection, when you hear that somebody has a real physical or, you know, a visceral connection to these organizations, sometimes it's pretty incredible to see. It really is. So Kevin, thanks so much for taking some time there. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Battleborne is a great organization. I hope you guys continue to keep that partnership going. If you are not doing anything that's gonna change some lives this weekend, and you're anywhere near eastern side of PA, find out how to get to Bethlehem on Saturday. It's going to be a really cool time. Get to hang out with the brothers. You get to make a difference. What more can you ask for? So looks like an awesome time, and can't wait to see the pictures. He kind of teased me off air. He kind of told me a little something about a little something, and so I'm privy to a little bit more than he told me there in the interview. But got to keep all that zipped up and quiet. So I know it's going to be a great night, and it's going to be a great event. So congrats to you guys in advance, you PA East guys. It's going to be fun. Hey, real quick before we sign off, if you guys are still here, thank you so much for hanging with us. I want to just give a quick shout out here, if we can, to some events that we have hopefully coming up. And not sure if my little things are going to pop up here. It doesn't seem like they're wanting to right now. So, all right. Well, hey, I know that we have ECM coming up after this weekend. We have ECM coming up in October 13th and 14th, I believe. Your Queen City chapter is the host for that thing. I'm trying to think off the top of my head because my list isn't popping up for me. I know that that's coming up. Of course, we have this. We have October 21st, All Villains Eve, I think is what they're calling it, in Phoenix with the Phoenix chapter. See how this is all just kind of coming right back to me. I'm not reading this or anything. It's just I get used to saying things so many times, and some of it sticks. It's in, I think, Mesa, Arizona. It's at a Harley Davidson dealership. If you're in near Mesa, Arizona, October 21st. That's going to be a really cool event because not only do they do the regular stuff that you do at a villain charity thing, but they have professional wrestling at this event. Very, very cool. Also, October 21st, here in Northern Indiana, we are having the return of Ezra Crow. It is our annual Halloween costume contest, beard competition, and this year adding in a tattoo contest where we have a best women's, a best men's, and a worst tattoo. If you are the winner of the worst tattoo, you get a free cover-up. That's pretty cool. We got some games. We got raffle. It's a kind of a haunted carnival thing. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So you don't want to miss out for sure. It's going to be a blast. If you can get here to Northern Indiana for that night, some of the costumes, the elaborate costumes that people get together with. Sometimes people they go into the costume contest as an individual. Sometimes we have a couples category. Where, you know, some of these, it's just fun to see the creativity that some people come up with. And as always, we have one of our beard categories is Whiskerina. So the women that don't have a beard, the creativity, and I'm looking at our chat daily, and I listen to some of these women that are going to be here for this event, and seeing and hearing their excitement and talking about, I'm working on my beard already right now, and the creativity that goes into some of these beards and what they make these things out of. It's incredible. So always one of the most fun parts of the night is the Whiskerina category. But anyway, October 21st. So you get your choice on October 21st, a couple of events if you're in Mesa, Arizona, or here in Northern Indiana. Pretty easy to get to either way. So you got to get out there and find something fun to do. But guys, hey, let's see. David says, hey, appreciate this. David, send me some information on this, please. Out of the Darkness Walk, October 1st. David says, hey, send me the info. I will get it up on our screen. This is what happens. People don't send me the deets. I don't have the details, so I can't share it. I've heard good things about it, but definitely send me some information, and I'll make sure I get it up on the calendar of events for us here. Hey, guys, I want you to get out there and enjoy the rest of this Friday night. I'm so thankful for you guys being here, taking some time out on a Friday night. There are a million other things that you would rather do, I'm sure, that you could be doing other than paying attention to this here show. Whitney, let's see here. She's asking, how do you make your own beard? Costume hair? No, some people do it with hair. Some people do it with zip ties. Some people do it with I've seen lollipop wrappers. I've seen fake hypodermic needles. I've seen flowers. I've seen basically anything that you can bend, fold, stick, or anything. People have made at these Whiskerina events. People have made, a beard out of, and some of the most elaborate ones would just shock you. They're very fun. So you look at these, you look at this stuff, and I saw at one beard competition I was at for an organization called Beard Mob down in Columbus, Indiana, earlier this year. A woman it was because it was at a theater and it was theater themed. She had curtains for her beard, and she had drawstrings on them where she could pull and the curtains would open like a theater. So it's pretty amazing. So you know what you should do? Just Google Whiskerina beard competition. Just Google that, Whiskerina beard competition, and you'll see some crazy, crazy things that some very talented women have come up with. So yeah, just Google it, Whiskerina beard competition. And it's a category that a lot of places do. It's pretty fun. So get out there and do that. All right. Well, guys, hey, we have been on here for an hour. That's our time, right? We always stay within an hour ish, unless we really get carried away. But tonight, I want you guys to get out there and have fun. Go out and enjoy the rest of your Friday night. And let's just get to this part of our slide music. Here we go. There's the song. You know what that means, guys. I want to challenge you guys, as I do every week, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. The most important words I tell you guys every week, right? Remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Hey, enjoy this night. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the week ahead. I'll see you back here next Friday night for episode 193. Until then, guys, take care. Stay safe.
Every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro. Lights, camera,